Want $5? While supporting this podcast, try Cash App. I did. Linked a debit card, then sent my sound engineer at least $5 yesterday via Cash App. $5 instantly added to my Cash App account. Hey, other podcasters got all that Fear Factor and MMA money. Use my code WKXRVBX to support me and earn $5 with Cash App, available in your app store. Mark Roman Empire, also a podcast, sponsored by Ella Dawn Designs, creators of the trademarked Ultimate Shoe Bag. Go to elladondesigns.com, save 10% when you use discount code ROMAN at checkout. elladondesigns.com. Also sponsored by Vegas 90210, Lieutenant Frank. I fucking love this guy. That's what Bill Burr blurted out on Bill Burr's Guide to Driving Etiquette, Pedestrians. Lieutenant Frank, as hired by a California highway patrolman for a CHP lieutenant promotion luncheon. Lieutenant Frank. Hollywood Cap. Beetlejuice. Ron Burgundy. More. The characters of Vegas 90210, also known as Hollywood Vegas 90210. Book one today at Vegas90210.com. Time to podcast, am I right, kids? Spreading the news like mayonnaise on toast. Gary, I have a mission for you.
Flux capacitor? Okie dokie. But let me tell you about that time I drove a cab.
Money that's something, chicks that read. I want my Mark TV. First, you're not on TV. Podcast. Now, that is some weird and wild stuff. Did you know that, Ed?
Yes.
Well, Robin attended Juilliard. I attended Hillsdale. I'm a graduate of the San Francisco Comedy College. I've traveled the Midwest quite extensively. I lived through The Big Short and had a pretty good time doing that. I've seen Pat Robertson jabber about 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it. Not to mention the fact that you're talking to a subversive. So what do you think? Do you think I'm qualified?
Oh, well, I think we'll need to pray about that and ask your father.
Shut up, Marilyn! The Mark Roman Empire. Also, a podcast. It's showtime! You've got to work out your own salvation with no explanation. To this earth we fall, on hands and knees we crawl, and we look up to the stars and we reach out and pray to a deaf, dumb, and blind God who never explains. Everybody knows what's going wrong with the world, but I don't even know what's going on in myself. Everybody knows what's going wrong in the world, but I don't even know what's going on in myself. That was my Markioki of slow motion replay by the aka Matt Johnson and his band. I'm clearly no Matt Johnson. That's a rough tune to belt out, but hey, I still like it, and it's why we call it Markioki. Okay? Delivered. Really hope I get to see them where they are still in LA, which will be the day of and the day after this particular podcast drops. Hey, it's only been decades since they last performed live. Oh man, that would be really cool. Kind of been looking forward to it all summer, but I'm working to deliver you a podcast. Not to go to concerts that might help with all that time and joy slaughtered in Sunday school, enduring a childhood of the Dick and Marilyn Show. Fuck. I most certainly am Kimmy Schmidt. Oh, hi there. I'm also Mark Roman. Mark who? Mark Roman? You know, like the Empire. Lee Coc is on the podcast today. Oh, you heard me. Singer and actor Lee Coc. We continue to record here at Jung Records, J-U-N-G, Jung Records, here in North Hollywood, carefully nestled in the wardrobe houses, car crushing yards, and strip club next door district. On sound, we got Ollie back, bravely enduring life here in the colonies. What's good with Prince Harry, Ollie? Oh, he's silent now. Okay. No, that's cool. That's cool. Got it. I understand. Those Brits, they're understated. Okay? Can't get more understated than silence. It's all good. So, I couldn't sleep the other night. Getting over that cold. Man, sleep and energy patterns like all over the goddamn map. 3 a.m. being a particularly choice moment for good decisions. In the wee small hours of the morning. See, I can kind of sing sometimes. I don't know. So I posted the first few verses of my poem, Son of Elmer Gantry's Bitch. You know, where people love to read. Pictures. Yes, Instagram. So, as New Yorkers began their day, I may be the culprit behind a few gasps back east at the scandalous temerity of borderline literacy from the left coast. Hey, some actually liked my poem. As many as 39 distinct picture readers. I mean, just a phrase commented, I like this, with, is that a fist bump, fist like black power, which is awesome. We need more of. And I don't need Corey Robinson to tell me that. I love him. If you haven't heard him, you got to go listen to episode 2, I believe. He was our first comic. Hashtag it's not about race, though. Corey Robinson. Love that guy. Anyway, this is about me now, okay? From Gribbins Douglas. I like this a lot. I don't know why I imagined his voice that way, but the key thing you should take away from this is no need to bother with the New York Times book review. The verdict is in. Son of Elmer Gantry's Bitch. People on Instagram like it. They really like it. A lot. Now, in the fab first 5 episodes of this podcast, I read to you, dear listeners, a fifth of the poem at a time. Sensible portions for responsible imbibers. But I think now we are at a moment. Last week was Mambo number 5. This is episode 6, which, to a certain adroit numerologist, or 2 or 17, is certainly a third of 666. The mark of the Ryan Seacrest. Not third eye blind. Hey, I'm no Sammy Obeid. He's the mathematician. Last week's episode. As we clearly established, last week. Book 'em, Dano. Oh. Shut up, Marilyn. No, the people have spoken. All 39 of them. They like my poem. Son of Elmer Gantry's Bitch. No need for sensible portions or sippy cups. Time to take it all. Like, Captain Marvel. So here it is. No placid vicar to introduce. That's for you, Ollie. Just the full Monty, also for you, Ollie, of my poem. Son of Elmer Gantry's Bitch. Why do I struggle in this culture so coarse? Why don't I pursue profit without remorse? Why do I want to heal, write, and sing and feel guilty every time I permit that fling? See, scrolls, screens, and stages speak to me, indeed. So many died. Some lived that I might listen, watch, and read. But why did Mommy transmit that curious reading itch? Why me, Kimmy Schmidt, son of Elmer Gantry's bitch? Is it because I grew up Kimmy Schmidt, not boy, but man, inside the body of that Eagle Scout son of Willie Loman? The not yet dead salesman of creeds and policies, always at the goddamn fucking knee of Elmer Gantry's. Is it because I'm still technically Catholic, brother? Chained to a pope and rage as a father, but satisfies a mother. A mother after whom my nurtured fears did once lust. A second awkward marriage averted, back to dust. See, scrolls, screens, and stages speak to me, indeed. So many died, some lived, that I might listen, watch, and read. But why did Mommy transmit that curious reading itch? Why me, Kimmy Schmidt, son of Elmer Gantry's bitch? The student paper I wrote and published, why could I not let it go? That right-wing Ken doll pub crawl college boss sure hoped so. See, he had a lot of agape to give. If the smoking gun found son, understand they wouldn't. Especially his ladies' groom, his son. Everyone wonders why that abundant, happy salesman not in my bones. Something completely different than Dad's insurance, like mortgage loans? Harness my wit and charms to sell whatever's not yet criminal in this port. Grab my fair share and do it before the next Great Depression or Big Short. See, scrolls, screens, and stages speak to me indeed. So many died, some lived, that I might listen, watch, and read. But why did Mommy transmit that curious reading itch? Why me, Kimmy Schmidt, son of Elmer Gantry's bitch? To love what you're supposed to do is just a decision away. For those not burdened with too many questions to parlay. Produce for the consumers, why not abide like the dude? Why so fucking depressed and homeless, you silly white dude? When the vultures steal and enslave, why don't I in kind retaliate? Their tactics are worldly and wise. Why should I not embrace? And so, to my ground zero arrived the charity of career counselors. What the goddamn fuck happened to all the emergency responders? See, scrolls, screens, and stages speak to me indeed. So many died, some lived, that I might listen, watch, and read. But why did Mommy transmit that curious reading itch? Why me, Kimmy Schmidt, son of Elmer Gantry's bitch? Doctors Without Board certified want to medicate my personality away. Some, Soma, for the masses. If the theater of mass is not enough to assuage, the good citizens annoyed at the disease of my eyes that see. Why so stubborn? Why not get over it and assimilate like we? Why is merely being me an open act of revolution against the established fable? Why does imminent homelessness bring suicidal thoughts to the food stamp table? Mommy gave me religion and taught me to read. Light and dark. The force indeed. See, scrolls, screens, and stages speak to me indeed. So many died. Some lived that I might listen, watch, and read. But why did Mommy transmit that curious reading itch? Why me? Kimmy Schmidt, son of Elmer Gantry's bitch. And now's the perfect time for a commercial break. Want $5 while supporting this podcast? Hey, try the Cash App. I did. I linked a debit card, then sent my sound engineer at least $5 yesterday via the Cash App. After that, $5 were instantly added to my Cash App account. Hey, I even tried out Bitcoin. Finally, thanks to Cash App. It was super easy. Hey, other podcasters got all that Fear Factor and MMA money? Use my code, WKXRVBX, to support me and earn your $5 with Cash App, available in your app store. The Mark Roman Empire, also a podcast, sponsored by Eladon Designs. There's got to be a better way to travel with your shoes. Now there is. The trademarked Ultimate Shoe Bag by Eladon Designs. Travel your shoes easier. Up to 8 pairs at a time, many styles to choose. To view the commercial and demo video, go to eladondesigns.com. Hey, save 10% when you use discount code ROMAN at checkout. eladondesigns.com. Also sponsored by the characters of Vegas 90210. My singular Lieutenant Frank in women's short shorts and rainbow tactical leg warmers. I fucking love this guy. Blurted Bill Burr on his Bill Burr's Guide to Driving Etiquette Pedestrians. He's a really big dude. He looks really good. He's a lot bigger than me. That's how OG Lieutenant Dangle, Tom Lennon of Reno 911, described me on the Jeselnik offensive on Comedy Central. Lieutenant Frank, recently hired by a California highway patrolman for a CHP lieutenant promotion luncheon at Bank of California Stadium at Echo Park. So what about your event? Got Lieutenant Frank? Or Hollywood Cap, the Captain America of the Hollywood Avengers? Ron Burgundy, Buddy the Elf, and Beetlejuice available by special order. I put the I in improv. What your upcoming event truly needs. Book a Vegas 90210 character for your event today at Vegas90210.com. Also sponsored by Mark Roman Empire merch. My poem, yeah, I a poet. Even if you didn't know it, I've only read it over 6 podcasts now. But that's cool. My poem, Son of Elmer Gantry's Bitch, autographed. Lieutenant Frank citations, previously issued to a real FBI agent for being Scully. Also issued to 8,671 others. And Lieutenant Frank headshots, autographed. Simon Cowell of America's Got Talent got one yesterday for his work with Duran Duran. No, I know. You go ahead and tell Lieutenant Frank. Hey, buy my poem, citation, or headshot today at markromanempire.com. Click merch. I don't know if I mentioned this, but we are recording at Jung Records, and you might pick up a little bit of the Ringo Starr who stopped by to make sure the drum kit next door still works. We'll let you be the judge. Anyway, a little extra ambiance, a little flavor in the background of the podcast here. Hey, no extra charge. You're welcome. Anyway, back to my poem, Son of Elmer Gantry's Bitch. I wrote that while I was staying at a high school buddy's home. I was fresh back from Vegas and homeless. This was about 3 years ago. My buddy, one of the popular kids on the football team, way back in the day at Placer High School in Auburn, California. Just to paint you a little picture here, back in that day, I was busy earning a not quite 4.0. Thanks, Doug Stryker, in that chemistry class. This is back when 4.0 was actually the academic ceiling. I was also damaging my brain in Sunday school and church youth groups. I was earning my Eagle Scout. I was defending Ronald Reagan and Oliver North. Yeah, that happened. I was reading in chemistry class, no, not Playboy, but National Review and the American Spectator for the articles. Now, the jock was taking in the homeless nerd. That's what my buddy was doing 3 years ago. Fast forwarding there. I was homeless, fresh back from Vegas after another ill-conceived relationship. And you wonder why I'm in a 12-step program to remain a single guy. So, in case you couldn't tell from my poem, Son of Elmer Gantry's Bitch, I'm still sorting out as a man of a certain age. Few things. Let's tick a few of them off for you, shall we? There's growing up in the Dick and Marilyn show. There's earning Eagle Scout. There's attending college on academic scholarship. There's being an expelled student editor. There's finding oneself on the FBI's subversives list. There's that paragraph that I am in a Vanity Fair article about the suicide at the college arboretum where I first kissed a girl. The suicide of the daughter-in-law of the college president who expelled me when I refused to just let it go, son. The college president who, while his wife was dying of cancer, he was fucking that daughter-in-law, his son's wife. Because that's how you fundraise for a private college that doesn't accept federal funding. Hey, anything for family, church, and local community. What else is there? Oh, yeah, being ruled a legal celebrity by a federal judge as he dismisses your defamation suit against that college. There's sleepwalking my PTSDs through a marriage and careers. My personality and DNA, useful for the purposes of others. Finally, the liberation of the Big Short, but very traumatic. Poverty justified, inner artist finally embraced, reinventing one's life and life's work while 30-something. Homeless just 3 years ago. Now, I'm building my empire. Anything less, and I won't survive. Because that is how great America has always been, Scouts. Just a few rambling hints there as to how and why I am the son of Elmer Gantry's bitch. For an autographed copy of the complete poem, Son of Elmer Gantry's Bitch, go to markromanempire.com and click merch. Because when you hear me say, I'd like to thank the Academy, it will be too late to claim, yeah, I supported Mark when he was an unknown working artist. Don't be the one who discovers John Hamm after Mad Men, or Van Gogh after his death. The week, because it's not on social media. If it's not on social media, it never really happened, right? And what happens at Georgetown Prep stays at Georgetown Prep. Am I right, fellas? Fellas? Senator Harris, ma'am, what was the question? As my imaginary big brother Bill Burr might say, oh, Jesus. We got our Twitter posts. You can find those at The Mark Roman on the Twitter. Bert and Ernie, just today. Well, it'll be Wednesday for you when you listen to this on Monday next week. I officially invited Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street on the podcast. So check the link. It'll be in the show notes. Captain Marvel just dropped a trailer, and my Hollywood Cap had something to say about that. So there's also a link to the trailer if you haven't already seen it, but see it again. There's my response to LAPD Hollywood Division on aggressive, seedy guys and costumes on Hollywood Boulevard. There's also the tweet. Let's see here. Hollywood Wolverine's response to the very same thing. Jerry Brown went David Bowie on us. Our own damn satellite. Check that tweet out. There's Cynthia Nixon on what's next. She put in a valiant fight in New York. A lot of cool stuff on the Twitter about that. Whitney Cummings, her thoughts on Les Moonves. So much more on the Twitter this week. A lot at the Mark Roman on the Twitter. On Instagram, not so much, but that's okay. You know, takes time to read them pictures. You know, you got to allow it for yourself. Okay. Lieutenant Frank's gift to Simon Cowell. That happened. My 3 a.m. PST poem tease, because that definitely happened. Hollywood Cap and Ant-Man. What's that all about? It's on Instagram. Link in the show notes. Most liked of the week on my Instagram at Vegas90210. Hollywood Cap and the Glove of Thanos. So where can you guys see me next? Well, there's always those occasional random Lieutenant Frank cameos on Hollywood Boulevard. He's not there as often. Actually, our guest today met Lieutenant Frank on Hollywood Boulevard. So looking forward to talking about that. Lieutenant Frank will be at some upcoming football tailgates. Doesn't look like there's any college stuff in the next week, but on the 27th, Rams versus Vikings. I wonder if Terry will be there. Nick Swardson. There's a photo of Lieutenant Frank with Nick from a few years back, right after a Vikings game he watched. But here it is, live here in LA. Maybe he'll be there at a tailgate. We'll see. And then on 30th, we got Chargers versus 49ers. That should be fun. Hollywood Cap will be on Hollywood Boulevard with some or all of the Hollywood Avengers. Been missing Hollywood Iron Man, but he will be here one of these days. But as always, Hollywood Wolverine, as both he and I, you know, we're in the hood. Don't forget, kids, you can listen to the podcast at Mixcloud, Podbean, Stitcher, and YouTube. On all those platforms, you can find us at Mark Roman Empire. And then on the SoundCloud, it's Mark Roman Podcast. MarkRomanEmpire.com is your best place for all the links, plus rolling new grooviness. So to stay on top of the new stuff and to find everything else about the Mark Roman Empire, just go to MarkRomanEmpire.com. My interview guest today, singer, actor, warrior for life, holder of the light, Hollywood's newest bad boy, Lee Coc. That's the man's name. You know, I gotta imagine that even Danny Trejo of Tarantino, Cantina, and Donut fame, even that Danny Trejo, upon encountering Lee Coc, might say, yeah, I think I'm gonna sit this one out. Let's discover Lee together, shall we? Lee Coc.
Yes, sir.
Get off your phone.
Trying to get you trying to do a little.
You did. You gave me some love, and
doing
I really
some Insta love too.
Appreciate that. Now that's your real name. I pronounced it correctly.
Lee Coc.
I had an interesting phone call with you yesterday because we know each other.
Right.
We'll go into that about how we know each other here in a minute. But you know, I just knew you as Lee.
Yeah.
And my buddy. Like I never had a reason or purpose to verbalize your last name, but. Tell me about the phone conversation we had yesterday. I'm curious what your perspective is.
You know, well, I've had that before. It's funny because I really get it from the ladies.
Really?
So when I say my name, yeah, it's crazy, and I always get the.
Okay, can we just pretend this for a quick sec? So I'll be there. Hey, how are you? Wow, what's your name?
My name's Lee Coc.
Oh boy, I don't know. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. Wow. Man.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
suddenly didn't know what to do with my hands.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And given the way that you look, which, you know, as an actor, you have to be aware of. Also,
For
I
sure.
noticed that you literally bill yourself as hashtag Hollywood's newest bad boy.
That's right.
you're a pretty you're a specific looking kind of a guy. And the kind of a guy that most dudes with half a brain in their head are going to hesitate to ask you anything about anything. They're just going to be like I visualize even Danny Trejo as badass a motherfucker as Danny Trejo is. And we all know this, okay?
Right, of course.
And it's not just because of his canteen and donut empire, okay?
Right.
All right. I imagine Danny Trejo taking one look at you and going, yeah, I'm going to sit this one out.
Yeah, shout out to Danny, first of all.
Yeah, have you met him?
Yeah, I have a couple of
That's
times.
awesome. I would love to meet him.
Great
He's
guy.
an institution, man.
Yes, and I actually met him back in Texas before I was ever acting.
Oh, that's right, because you're from Houston, right?
Originally.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I get that a lot, man. It's crazy. Just a regular guy,
You're the nicest guy. You're a family man. You got your kids and everything.
Right.
You got this look.
That's what they say.
Yeah. You also got a couple of tattoos too.
A couple of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's always a story behind tattoos, so.
Right.
You're like, can you share one or two? Or is that you didn't sign an NDA for those two, did you?
No. I'll tell you what, I will I got this little bunny above my arm that I recently got maybe 4 years ago.
So for all you podcast listeners out there, you might possibly see it in the photo that ends up being the cover photo for this podcast, but it looks like someone doing a peace sign with their hand, with their fingers, but it also looks like a little bunny rabbit with a face.
Yeah, it's actually it's crazy because it's actually so everybody knows who James Franco is, right? You know James Franco.
I know of him. I kind of helped a buddy of mine who does a Donald Trump impersonation be on a production of James Franco.
Nice.
His TV show or something.
Yeah.
I don't think I actually met him, but I know his manager, the person that does casting for all his productions.
Yeah. Cynthia? Who? Vince?
Sounds right.
Yeah, Cynthia. Yeah. So yeah, I got this bunny. It's a most of my tattoos are drawings that I've done or a good friend of mine has done, and
that you've done. Okay, so
yeah.
You've designed these. You didn't just sit at a store and go,
pick 'em out.
That looks nice. I think I want that one. Yeah.
So most of them are tattoos that I designed or someone else, and they're pretty detailed. And I have this funny looking bunny that looks like my little girl who's 6 years old drew it.
Yeah, it does because it's right next to this just amazing. And I'm not a big tattoo guy. I have none. I'll probably never have any, just because I'm come from an era where it's like, I'm not a pirate, I'm not a prisoner, I'm not a sailor, so why would I have a tattoo? That's my thinking. But you got this gorgeous work of art down your forearm here. It's like some sort of angel, and then you got a cool little looking bulldog. Again, that's for you, Ollie. Okay.
Yeah. That's my Marine Corps devil dog.
That's awesome. But then it does. It looks like you accommodated, a 5-year-old niece who goes, Uncle, can I put tattoo on you? And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
It does. But it looks awesome.
Yeah. So
it does have that mojo, and it's just cool. It's endearing.
Right. It's so what it is, it's actually Mr. Franco's first company, Rabbit Banzini. It's the bunny. It's the logo for Rabbit Banzini.
Okay.
So I get a lot of questions about it. Weird, because I got so many tattoos. They're either asking about my teardrops, which we won't talk about.
Or this, if you have to ask.
Right.
That's the saying.
or this bunny. And so it's Rabbit Bandini. It's very near and dear to my heart because it's, Mr. Franco's school and company was kind of like the first people to believe in me and to help launch my acting career.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it means a lot to me. I went to Studio 4, which was owned by James Franco right here in North Hollywood.
Okay.
And that's why my acting career was birthed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Now, folks are listening. We are in a time of in an era right now of Me Too. Literally right now, there's a Supreme Court nomination that's being held up.
It's crazy.
Over an issue. And you're my buddy, but I'm in this position on a podcast. I got to at least address it.
Of course.
There've been issues raised and questions about James. How does that impact?
Man, my thing is it's a really, really rough rough thing to talk about because it's a sensitive subject, because there are so many victims that have been victimized, and I mean, it's a great movement, but someone like Mr. Franco, unfortunately, I feel like he's on the other side of that whole thing, because I mean, he's an amazing man.
Yeah.
I know a couple of the women who spoke out, and again, he was never accused of actually like raping someone or doing anything like that, but the stuff that he was accused for is not him. And I don't want to discredit any ladies or I'm not here to discredit any women, or not here to take away from any real victims, but man, it's sometimes you put yourself, or you get put in positions to where you have to pay attention to how you move, and when you don't,
sure, things
can happen to you even when they're not true, and when you're in a position of power, you're someone like him, a good-looking man. All the women, trust me, I've been to some parties, I've been to, the school, women literally throw themselves at him. And when you're in that position, and you have to tread very carefully. And he's not the guy that these women try to paint him as. And I think they know
from
that
your experience.
From my experience. Yeah. And I was
Which is all we really want to talk about today.
Right. And I was in the school, I was in the classes. I've never seen him act in an unprofessional manner ever. He's an amazing, humble, hardworking guy. I've never experienced anything like that. His company was very good to me.
Yeah.
I worked very hard, and sometimes people, I don't know, man. It's tough, but he's a great guy in my eyes, and I've never seen him do anything wrong. I wouldn't have a tattoo of his company on my arm. If I
there
thought,
you go, and you got a lot of cool stuff going on in your career right now.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
I mean, we had to address it, and we did.
Right, we did.
We did.
Shout out to Mr. Franco, man. He's doing amazing. Great guy. Shout out to Jay Davis. And Iris and Dave and Tom.
Jay Davis, Laugh Factory comedian Jay Davis?
No.
Jay
Yeah,
okay.
Different Jay Davis.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Gotcha. I guess there's more than one.
Couple of them, I
Jay
think.
Davis out there.
Couple.
Nice. Yeah, you got a bunch of cool stuff going on. But before we get into, let's backtrack here a sec, because I do want to talk about the acting. There's some really cool stuff I know we can talk about, but there's
cool.
NDAs involved, but there's some public domain stuff.
Right.
But I also want to talk about your singing. But let's back up for a quick second. Let's talk about your beginnings, because I've never been to Texas, let alone Houston, Texas. So take me to school here, Lee. What was that like growing up? In the town named after Sam Houston, right?
Yeah, Houston is amazing. I miss it, man. It's a huge city. I think it's the 4th biggest city right now. And
no kidding. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
4th biggest city. The best food on earth. And I've been a lot of places. Definitely the best food on earth, man.
What's your favorite food? What do you enjoy?
I love Tex-Mex. Yeah, okay. I love all Asian foods. I mean, I love everything. I'm a foodie. You know what I mean? I love everything. But Texas has
it's hard not to be when you're in LA,
Right.
If you pay attention.
Well, here's
right?
the thing though. I always heard that LA had like a great, like the food was amazing here, but maybe I just haven't been to enough places. There's some good places. I'm not going to take that away, but
sure.
There's nothing like Houston, man. There's nothing. I mean, there's so many, the variety
how
of
often
foods.
Do you go back? Or
I haven't been back in 4 years, almost 5 years. Yeah,
okay.
I miss it. I've been so busy out here and with my career and the kids and
that's awesome.
And music and the acting has really picked up. It's, I haven't made it home and I miss it. And everyone's mad at me. I mean, they're not mad at me, but they're like, when you going to come home and visit?
Sure.
But I got my mom coming in 2 weeks here. So
cool.
I'm excited. I haven't seen her in a couple years. So
nice.
Yeah, I'll be excited to see her.
Very cool.
Houston's an amazing spot. You got to go, man. It's very muggy, but
I like you. Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. Great women, great food.
Great women.
Yeah. Texas women.
You realize I'm in a 12-step program to remain a single guy. I am. Yeah. It's a whole thing. But but I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You got my 6. You're looking out for me.
Right.
Now, if we can also discuss, because you have an appearance that you do capitalize on.
Yes.
And it's pretty specific. Like you have a Latino look.
Yeah.
But does that capture the entirety of the reality of your background?
Absolutely not. One thing is I think, especially for the acting, helps me stand out here in LA is not to like put the Hispanics or Latino or Mexican community in like a, not to categorize them, but they're a little more like Cholo type, a little more West Coast, where I come from Texas and we come with a little more Southern style. And so I talk a little different.
You definitely have a gentleman mojo about you. When I was listening to your music, I'm like, okay, even though I know you a little bit, I'm like, okay, whoa, I didn't totally, like, you had this kind of Jeff Goldblum thing going on that I was totally not expecting.
Thank you. Yeah.
And I like that because I love fucking Jeff Goldblum.
He's amazing, man. Shout out to Mr. Goldblum. He's
But it is okay. That makes sense now. So you got that Southern gentleman.
Yeah, and then we talk a little different. My slang is a little different. My Spanish is a little different. Because it's a different style. The Texas, we'll say Chicano versus the West Coast California Chicano. It's kind of like two different types of Hispanics. You got more of a low rider type culture out here, and where I'm from, like the Hispanic community, the Black community, we get along really well in Texas. Versus out here, they're from what I see and what I've heard, it's kind of very
fragmented.
Yeah, and Blacks on this side, Hispanics on this side. I guess
separate
the history, separate communities, the history of them not getting along. So where we're from, it's like it's a big
brothers in arms.
Yeah,
it's
right, and it's a melting pot.
Choose a more groovy gender.
Yeah. It's like a pot of gumbo, man. We're all together. We all kind of
that pot of gumbo.
Yeah. We throw us all together. We all kind of talk the same, act the same, and it's just a different style. And
what do you ascribe to that? The reason why, or just that's the way it is? I mean,
man, I think the South is just different, man. The South is it's like the history with everything and how it used to be, and you would think it would be more like divided and because of the the whole Southern racist thing, but the neighborhoods, the schools, it's not like that, man. We all hang together out there, and I'm not sure why it's like that, and I'm not sure why.
Cool.
Yeah,
we could use a little more of that.
Of course, man. All of us, not just Black and brown, but everybody. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I've noticed, like with my Lieutenant Frank character, which I think is how we first met,
right? Which I love. It's amazing. You kill that.
Do I?
Yeah, man.
Oh, you're too kind.
Hilarious.
Please tell us more on this interview about you. Yeah. Tell us more about me. Well, let's talk about how did we meet?
Man, I'm in Hollywood. We both live in Hollywood, but
and work,
and we both work in Hollywood,
yeah.
And so we would see each other a lot. But last year, I was selling tours. I was out in Hollywood.
I remember that,
and I was helping a good friend of mine, KD, who was managing a booth off of Hollywood and Whitley. And so he was like, hey, man, you want to make some extra money? And with our schedule as actors, it's tough to you have to find a job that will work.
Gotta find flexible gigs if you're a working artist, yeah.
Of course.
It's the dirty, sordid secret of this town.
Right.
People don't want to acknowledge. So
you
can drive Uber, you can be a waiter, you can be a bartender.
Yeah.
And
I did those. I did all three of those, actually. I was actually waiting, bartending and driving Uber before my career actually kind of took off to where I was working 4 or 5 days a week. And so yeah, I took a little break to make some extra money last summer, and I went to work again because I hadn't worked probably in a year and a half besides acting, maybe 2 years. I've been blessed to have some steady work in Hollywood, which is such a blessing. And I kind of started turning down once my career got to a certain. I kind of started turning down some of the lower end jobs. I do a lot of music videos and stuff, and I said, I'm going to take a little more time to my family and to myself. And the job in Hollywood selling tours allowed that because I could make cash every day.
That's awesome, man.
Helping people out because so many people come to Hollywood, right? It's this little block, dingy little block. I don't know how many stars, and it's like you see people walking, looking down the whole time. You see all the crazy Holly weirdos, and all the people out begging for change, and the seedy guys, and so I would try to help these people go see the real Hollywood and the real LA, and so it was an easy job because you once you get them to look up first from looking, because I don't know how many thousands of stars there are, but you might know 4 or 5. So instead of spending that 2 hours looking down and dealing with all the BS, it was easy for me to convince them to get on one of these tour buses and go see all the great stuff that we see every day.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So it was a great job, and that's how we met, man. Me and I would always, but we'd see each other around, and then
Right.
we kind of started talking and laughing last year. And
Yeah, because my Lieutenant Frank would, patrol the boulevard, protecting her from democracy and Jimmy Kimmel, as Lieutenant
Oh,
Frank
my
always likes
God.
to assert.
right. My favorite though is when you see the guy with his family and
Yeah.
and you're like
The dad.
the dad,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Yeah.
my eyes are up here
Right.
because you got these little shorts on,
Yeah.
bro.
And they
The
are
look-
women's short shorts.
Right, right.
Just so you know.
And the look from some of these guys and their wives and their kids
Oh,
when
it's
you say,
awesome.
"Oh, it's amazing, man!
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's funny."
Especially when the kids start giggling and the mom
Comedy.
starts giggling and then other people around start giggling. The dad's kind of like,
For sure.
okay,
He's like, jerk. You jerk.
To me, people have asked me, like, how does that Lieutenant Frank get away with some of the stuff that he says? Because basically, I was looking for a way to do a Don Rickles routine,
Okay.
you know?
Love Don
And
Rickles.
I think the reason why is the kind of folks that like want to commit violence on another person
Right.
because, someone has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Those type of guys, they somehow, as ignorant as they probably are, they somehow still, hold on to this thing in their brain where they're with lightning speed. They're able to figure out and calculate the fact that if they lay a finger on Lieutenant Frank and his women's short shorts and rainbow tactical leg warmers, that he's going to have a conversation with his buddies,
Right.
who think just like he does.
Right.
And he's going to have to tell him, yeah, I laid hands on that guy. And they're going to be like, you did what? I don't know why I'm making them sound that way, but
Yeah.
yeah. And I think that because, yeah, there's stuff that Lieutenant Frank says that, you or me, as we are,
Would never
could
say.
never. Yeah. And
Right.
suddenly it's a fight and stuff. Yeah.
That's the beauty of acting, though, man. Like,
Or a character, dropping in a character. Yeah. Isn't it? It's amazing what you can.
because you can literally do so many things that that you can't do in real life. Because in real life, we all wear these masks and this certain way that we carry ourselves to be polite in society or to deal with things. But when you're in character and when you're acting, you could do whatever you
It's-
want and say whatever you want.
It's like literally constructing an alternate personality.
Yes.
I mean, there's people who have a medical condition of multiple personality. There's been films on it.
I think all of us
Um,
actors have that same.
But yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's something that in our society we're like, well, if you do it on a stage or you
Right.
do it on a set for a
Right.
film or a TV show, that's okay. But if you do it in real life, we're gonna have to send you to a
right.
a nice person in a white coat.
Because it's funny that you bring that up. Because I remember I'm always so polite and I was raised like that.
Right.
I was raised by a single mother who always raised me to be respectable. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Then I went in the Marine Corps.
Right.
And so I've always learned to be very polite, be a gentleman. And especially because the way I look now, even when I was young, before all the tattoos, even
Because
though
you have to battle that all
right,
the time.
right. Yeah, because everyone looks at me. I have, the way I look, everyone, I get
Mhm.
the toughest tough guys that want to be tough. I get everyone who's scared of me, people lock doors, all that. So I always go out of my way.
We might need that because we might need to get an emergency responder. You okay, Ollie?
Yeah.
You'll be all right. All right. Have some water there. All right.
I always go out of my way to be extra polite because the
Sure.
minute if I say something, let's say I even raise my voice a little bit to someone who is being a certain way, the way I look, they're like, oh my
People hear
God,
shouting.
he pulled a
Yeah.
gun at me.
Right.
He put
right.
someone could be really yelling at the top of their lungs at me and, saying all kinds of curse words at me and I could just defend myself in the way I look. So the great thing about being an actor is I remember being on stage and always still carrying this politeness with me
Mhm.
at Studio 4.
Yeah.
I'm classically trained. I came up under the Meisner technique. So it's
Okay.
a lot of listening and repeating. And I remember the day.
Now, I haven't, and there's folks that listen to this who know what that means. And there's folks who listen to this who don't. So take us to school for a quick second.
So
The Meisner technique
was invented by Sandy Meisner. And basically his definition of acting is being truthful under imaginary circumstances. And so when you're learning the Meisner technique, the stuff you do at the beginning is it seems very weird and basic because you're basically listening and repeating. Let's say, like I would say, hey, you got a black shirt, and you would say, I have a black shirt, and you have a black shirt, I have a black shirt, and so we're saying this back and forth, and it looks crazy, But when you start to understand the reason why,
That sounds like the basis of improv, where you say
Right.
it starts with yes, and then you add something. But here, you're just living in the
you're living in that moment,
yes.
and you're doing a lot of repeating. And what it does is it's making you aware of what's going on. You have to listen. A lot of people get caught up in the dialogue. A lot of actors, they never really get to show their true ability because they're so caught up in just the dialogue and memorizing lines. And I don't want to miss my line. And so when you understand it, to forget all about the lines and to listen to your partner and to just repeat, it makes your acting so much easier. And back to what I was saying, I'd be on stage and
Because you're getting in that world.
right. You're getting
that
in that
personality,
stage.
not
Right.
just your personality, the personalities around you that you have to interact with, which
And you're
it's like the
finding
Sun
real
Tzu
moments.
thing, know your enemy as thyself.
Right.
Not
And
that they're your enemies, but it's like knowing the lay of the land of this world that you're trying to deliver, whether on stage or on screen.
Right. And so yeah, so I
Now, is this where the Daniel Day-Lewis stuff comes from, where people are like literally like they don't break character? Is this that school of acting?
No,
What's the other one?
not at all. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But the thing is, and here's the thing. Whether there Alexander technique, Meisner technique. I mean, there's the school of Stella Adler. There's so many different things, right? There's so many different acting techniques and teachers, and to me, it all kind of boils down to the same thing: just understanding the scene and being real, being truthful, understanding the moments,
Right.
finding the moments. I used to always think, okay, I need to be this character, I need to be that character. Then I learned how to bring the character, to bring myself to what would I do in this situation versus what would
Right.
this character do
Right.
if I was this character. And being, that's all acting is being truthful, being real, because you got to keep the audience in your seat.
So
in
instead
their
of
seat.
manufacturing something artificially that you
Right.
imagine is what this person does, you notice a match. You're like, oh, he's going through this. So it's like that time when I was 13 and
Right.
da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it may not be identical,
No.
but there's enough, and you're able to
To
suddenly, instead of you portraying this character, you actually are.
oh yeah, you're
that
living it out,
character.
living
Yeah.
out the moment. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but back to the thing about the tattoo. So one day I was on stage and my teacher, one of my teachers, Miss Cohn, Robin Cohn, she's amazing. Shout out to Miss Cohn. She's
Robin Cohn. Okay.
yeah, she was in the Life of Aquatic. She's in a bunch of stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, she's
nice.
amazing. So she pulled me off stage one day in the middle of my exercise, and she was like, "I know you're this polite guy. I know you, but damn it, get mad at her." Can I say
Yeah.
damn it on the air? Is
Yeah.
that okay? Is
Oh
that
yeah,
okay?
we are marked explicit. So
Okay, yeah.
I think
All
I've
right,
said
so-
fuck at least 3 times.
Okay, I want to make sure.
Yeah.
So she was like, damn it. She kind of basically grabbed me and kind of shook me a little bit, trying to piss me off.
Yeah.
She was like,
yeah.
get mad and call her
And how big is she?
she's this 4'10", maybe beautiful, 5 foot, little small,
Gotcha.
amazing blonde woman who's so amazing,
And
so
she's
beautiful.
trying to trigger you.
Right, me, this guy. and she is fearless. She is amazing. She's
Yeah.
fearless. She's so wonderful.
But she's trying to make a point to you.
Right.
She's trying to like,
She's
you
like,
know,
let all that shit
open
out.
something
Yeah,
up.
let it out. Leave it at the door when you come in here. Because when you're on
Right.
stage, you don't have to be polite, and you don't have to be. You can say what you want, and if you want to cuss someone out or call them a bitch, you do that on
Yeah,
stage.
yeah.
You know, and that was one of the first times I found one of my first breaking moments, because in real life I can't be like that.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because I'm already, from what I hear, I'm a scary looking guy. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't think so, but
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
else does.
Yeah.
My little kids don't think so, but everyone
Isn't
else
that amazing?
does. Yeah,
Isn't that amazing, that contrast?
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
The way like my little girl would look at me, and the way some other
How
people
old is
look
she?
at me. She's 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many kids?
I got 4. So yeah, I got 4.
Wow, you got a
Yeah.
crew there, huh?
I do.
What are the ages?
My oldest one is 20, about to be 21.
Oh, okay. You got
And then I have 11-year-old. My son Jesus is
Okay.
11. Then my son True Warrior is 9, and then he's about to be 10. And then my
So
little
you're-
girl's 6.
You're Jesus's father.
I am Jesus's father.
You're his real father.
I'm his real father.
Hey, folks, you heard it here first on the Mark Roman Empire Also podcast. You're listening. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. Is he God?
Am I
don't
God?
know, but he's definitely the father of Jesus. So
And I'm
I
watching.
didn't know that about you, Lee. Like we're
Yeah.
unearthing. We haven't even gotten to the NDA stuff.
Right.
Okay. Crazy.
I'm not supposed to tell anybody that, man.
that you're the dad of Jesus.
And I'm the father of
That's
the Almighty
amazing.
Jesus.
That's amazing. So, of course, the next question everyone's going on. No, it's like, was he immaculately conceived, or you don't have to answer that.
He doesn't look like the mailman, so
There you go, guys. Hey, that's good enough for me. It's good enough for me. Okay. I likely this is a friendly podcast, and I got future guests listening to this. They're like, what kind of interviews are gonna be? Is it gonna ambush me? No. All right, we're not gonna do that. Okay.
right.
Asked, answered. Right, Lee?
Yes, sir.
I love it. So you got 4 kids,
For amazing kids.
and to them, you're just dad.
Just dad, man.
What do you like doing with your kids? Like, what are some things you guys?
Oh
typically do
man,
together?
we're huge. We love to play sports together.
Oh yeah, what sports?
Football, baseball, basketball. Yeah, all of them play. We always go to the park.
Oh,
We
cool.
go to the movies a lot. Yeah.
Oh, so
movie
they
night.
dig the movies too, huh?
Yeah, man.
Not
You know
just
what's
because
crazy?
dad's in them, huh?
Not just because what's crazy is like they have their little favorite actors and directors. They're making their own little I got them iPhones for Christmas last year. And
Oh, cool.
and they're making their own little trailers already. They design their own
Nice.
characters. My son Jesus is making his own comic book. And so we're big comic book heads. We play video games.
I feel like you're gonna have to write a book someday called My Son Jesus. Like
that would be dope.
you
Yeah, that
know?
would be dope. Yeah.
It's gotta be, or maybe an album. I don't know. I just
Yeah.
feel like there's a future piece of art that you've yet to create that
Something,
has to be
right.
titled My Son Jesus. You know,
You should hear when I'm screaming his name somewhere, like at a park. I'm like, Jesus. Everyone turns around and like, who's this guy calling out? Jesus, come here, Jesus.
That's useful.
It is.
It's useful.
You know what's even funny is the first time he was old enough to, when I took him to church,
Yeah.
and he kept hearing Jesus. All 3 of them kept hearing. It was so funny, man. Or like the first time he heard someone say,
it's like he's at a tennis match.
Oh,
His head keeps turning.
yeah. Or the first time he recognized someone say Jesus. I remember playing the Kanye West Jesus Walks song for him when he was a baby, and he's
that's
flipped out,
hilarious.
man. Like
That's
my
hilarious.
daughter's name is Mary Jane, and she does it.
Yeah.
I played the Mary Jane. Rick James.
Okay, so you have Jesus and Mary Jane.
Yeah, and True Warrior.
I
Yeah,
love it.
crazy names, good names.
True Warrior.
True Warrior, real
That's
name.
one of your kids'
His
names.
first name's True, middle name Warrior. Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mary Jane is Mary Jane Starr. Jesus is Jesus Elijah. And then
Okay.
my oldest is Dylan Lee.
Kind of had to be Jesus Elijah. I mean, it
Yeah.
couldn't have been like, Jesus, Phil or something.
Nah, yeah,
It's-
Jesus
You got to go
Elijah.
straight biblical. It's like, hey, we're
He who saves was appointed by God, basically, what his name translates to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Powerful young man and
Right on.
young lady.
Well-
I think the power's in the name sometimes. That's the spirit you place upon your child. Like with MJ, I named her after some of my favorite people, Michael Jackson,
Sure.
Michael
sure.
Jordan,
Yeah.
and Kobe Bryant. And the
There you
reason
go.
that the Kobe Bryant is MJ is 2, Star is 4, 24. That's his number when 24. He's one of my favorite basketball players ever. So I kind of, when I did
My
Mary
birthday is
Jane,
24
Nice.
November. Yeah.
nice, yeah. So I did a lot of thought, with how many letters are each and their names and
Oh,
everything.
okay.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Thank you. Yeah.
I like it.
Now it's kind of a trend. I hear like when I was first doing it, like with my kids a few years ago, everyone's like True Warrior, Mary Jane Starr, and
Yeah.
Jesus. But now you got like what is it? Blue North and or what is that? Ivy Blue and
Oh,
Kanye
Yeah.
and I think Khloe Kardashian just named her kid True and
Gotcha.
people are using the cool names now, I guess.
True is kind of cool. I mean, it's a little out there, but I mean, as far as like out there names, I don't know. That seems.
Well, I spell his different though.
I've never met anyone named True. Let me put it that way.
I spell his TRU
Okay.
for a reason though too as well. TRU.
Are you listening to that, folks who work over at the True TV channel? Just saying.
Right.
Just saying. Lee Coc's got a son that's
Ready.
that's named after your network. I mean, do the math. All right. Make sure get your reps talk to Lee's reps.
Right.
I just
Let's
seems
make it
like it's
happen.
just sitting there waiting to happen.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, let's talk a little bit about your singing, because I was listening to some of your songs last night, and
Nice.
And I'm not a big hip hop guy, but what hip hop I do like, it's usually more the old school, the '90s stuff.
Nice. Yeah, me too.
But let's see here. The one that I was really grooving on, and it doesn't seem to be the most popular of all the ones on your SoundCloud, which, how do folks hear it? They go to SoundCloud, right?
Yeah,
And they,
SoundCloud, but I'm also on like Apple Music, Spotify. You just search
okay.
Lee Coc, Holder of the Light. So
Okay.
it's
And how do we
Lee
spell that for folks who didn't read?
LEE-COC, and then in parentheses, Holder of the Light, just like it sounds.
Now, where did that come from? Holder of the Light.
Man, so it's when I first started doing music, I was strictly doing like educational. I like to call it revolutionary music. It was
Okay.
it was a lot about the food we eat, about stuff that goes on with politics, about just a bunch of different things that that go on in the world, and people would always say, man, it's like people just thought it was a name. I kind of just people were like, man, you always dropping that light on them. You always dropping that light on them.
Okay.
And so one day my homie was like, man, Holder of the Light,
Mhm.
which is a crazy term because the term can also mean it's also a very evil term as well. The light bearer, so it can mean good and it can mean good and it can mean bad.
Sure.
And so that's why, right when I started doing music, they just started calling me Holder of the Light, and it kind of stuck with me. And
I like it.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I like it. I also like it because it's the obvious contrast,
Right.
from your look, and then
right.
also from you saying, I'm Hollywood's newest bad boy,
Right.
and then it catches me. I found in my own preconceived notions and presumptions, and I'm like, oh wait, maybe I don't. I think I got everything figured out from the cover. Maybe I don't even understand the cover.
Right.
Well, let's read this book. Let's dig in. Let's discover, because I don't think I thought I had it figured out, and clearly I don't.
Right. I get that a lot.
I liked your song "Nothing Between Us." That's what I kept playing last night. It's got this really groovy reggae vibe to it, and it kind of reminded me of some songs by, I think it's is it Damian Marley?
Yeah.
That kind of reminded me. It was a little reminiscent, and I just really enjoyed that.
Thank you, man.
So
I just released that one on like I've had it on SoundCloud for a little while, but it just came out as a single.
how nice.
Yeah, and I think it was June it dropped, and it's doing
people
well.
want to buy that. Where do they?
You can go to iTunes and
Okay.
search "Nothing Between Us" by Lee Coc, Holder of the Light. You can go to Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere music is available. My music
Cool.
is and it's actually just made they just put that in a new web series called 21, the web series.
Okay.
So that's like one of the theme songs, and I think it's the second season.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And it's a cool record, man. Thank you. It's a different vibe. I wrote it for a movie actually. The song is about like a crazy. It could be like a crazy relationship or about being addicted to a drug.
What's that like?
Right. So
I have no idea. I should listen to this song and learn something, Lee.
Right. So it's a crazy song that I wrote. I got a script for a movie called Kill Czar for James Franco, and they gave me the script and they were like,
Kill
hey,
Czar?
kill the Czar. Kill the Czar. Yeah.
Kill the Czar as in like pre-revolutionary, pre-1917 Russia.
Nah, it's actually
Different
it's a
type
crazy type of film. I don't know how much I can talk about it, but it's
well, it's not
yeah, it's coming out soon though. I
Okay.
know that.
Okay.
And it's
because
a
I know
nutty
there's some
film.
stuff we can talk about.
Right.
And let's get into it, because we got limited time. I'm gonna have to bring you back, because this is just like
Anytime.
a lot of cool stuff. But I will say I love Poison. I love Kids. I loved When the Money Goes. In
Thank
fact, When the Money Goes, for some reason I noted down, Bill Burr needs to hear that. So just
Nice. Yeah, that's a great record. It's
if
some great
Bill's
people on that.
listening, or if any Bill's peeps are listening, and it's possible, because I don't know if you know this, but like Bill does this little like driving around, driving with Bill, and
Right.
literally one of his from earlier this year, he's literally the cover of it on YouTube. He's pointing to my Lieutenant Frank.
Nice.
And he talks about him. I'm like, Lieutenant Frank is actually in the little 2-minute video.
Dope, yeah.
So Bill Burr literally said about Lieutenant Frank, I fucking like that guy.
Nice. Yeah.
So Bill, you need to listen to Lee Coc's When the Money Goes.
Yeah, check it out. It's a great record.
You like it.
It's old.
Well, let's go into the acting here because
Yeah.
there's some obvious stuff, but I have to start with the TV show Lethal Weapon, just because Tom Lennon, who I have an interesting relationship with,
Yeah.
he's also in that show. But I don't know if his character, because he plays, Bernie Getz, that was played by Joe Pesci in the film.
Right.
Tom Lennon plays that in the TV show. Was he
I don't think he was
in
in
the
the
scene
episode.
in the one that you're in? Okay.
No, because
Okay.
the episode I was
So you
in
don't
was-
have any Tom Lennon stories?
No. Don't have
Okay,
any
you're
time.
useless to me, Lee.
Yeah,
What
sorry,
the fuck?
man.
Okay.
Sorry, shit, let me get
All right,
out of
well,
here.
fine. Okay, so fine. Moving on. All right, point 25.
That's gonna be a crazy movie. It's gonna be good. It's got some great actors in it. The guy that directed it and wrote it, he's also one of the Attila. He's one of the actors in it. This guy is he's from overseas. I forget where from. I got brought on that movie by a good friend of mine, Mike Flores, who's a great actor, and
Who's in it that we might recognize?
Richard Cabral is in it. Robert Lasardo's in it.
Okay. There's a photo of you with Robert Lasardo
Yeah.
on
That's my
your
boy.
Instagram. It's
That's
the most
my-
recent one. And how do we find you on Instagram?
It's Instagram / Lee Coc, LEECOC at
And
Lee Coc.
You are verified.
I am verified. That's
I think
crazy,
you are the
right?
first blue check mark
Man,
of any social media to be on the Mark Roman Empire.
Yeah, that
So,
was crazy.
congratulations.
Even when I got that verification was nuts. 'cause-
How does that work? Because I'm kind of like,
Well, you know what's crazy is I started getting messages from some people at Instagram trying to verify me, and I actually thought it was someone trying to hack into my account.
so they reached out to you.
Yeah, they
Okay,
reached out
all
to
right.
me, and
I kind of figured that's how it worked. I don't think you can like reach out
I
to
don't know.
them
I've
and
never
say,
tried. I'm not really the social media to
Yeah.
me, man. I'm not a big fan of it. I have it.
I can see.
and I'm doing
Like
well.
your Twitter's private.
Yeah,
It's just for
I
friends
need-
and family.
Yeah, I need to take it
Yeah.
off private. It's just
You should.
I'm-
There's a lot of cool stuff going on Twitter, especially for, the fact that you are the holder of the light.
right.
There's a lot of cool things that people say.
Yeah,
There's a lot of bullshit too. But it is kind of a platform for people who read.
yeah. I need to get on it more.
I
Man,
mean,
my days are so crazy every day. I literally sleep 2-3
Well, you
hours
got a lot
day.
going on right now.
Yeah, so if I
Yeah.
start getting caught up on social media, man, there goes for so many of my hours, wasted. I see my
Well, it's something maybe like for your management too.
right. I need to
Be
soon.
aware.
Soon that's
of,
coming.
Just
Yeah,
let people know, and then you can you can tag
right.
some of these different co-stars who all have handles on Twitter, and
Yeah.
it's
And mine's Lee
it's a
Coc.
tool like
Yeah.
anything else.
Same handle as Instagram too for my Twitter. LEECOC at Lee Coc.
Okay, all right. Well,
Yeah.
can we because I have show notes. We put links in there. Can we throw that in there?
Yeah,
And
please
maybe
do.
it'll be
I'll take it off private too.
Okay.
I need to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's talk for a sec about Lifeline.
Lifeline is cool. That was the thing from YouTube. I think The Rock was
Oh,
in.
the YouTube Red. Okay.
Yeah, the
I don't have
Rock-
YouTube
The Rock
Red
was in
yet.
that one.
So
So I played a tattoo artist. Just had a couple lines in that one.
okay,
Made it decent.
Okay.
That was kind of before everything started picking up.
okay.
Yeah, it's cool. It was cool. I forget the two people there, the main two stars, but they were amazing. Everyone was great to work with.
Okay.
Yeah, we shot that downtown at I don't know if it was DC Studios, somewhere downtown. Yeah, it's a cool little spot. Should be. I haven't seen it yet. I never watch any of my stuff. I need to see
You're
it.
in good company on that.
Yeah,
There's names are escaping me at the moment, but yeah, there's a lot of noted actors that they just don't. Well, I mean, you're there
right,
and you have multiple takes.
right.
So you and you have the script. So you kind of have an idea of what,
Yeah,
what's going down.
yeah,
It's just okay, yeah, you didn't see the final edit, but
right.
you're familiar with it enough, and then you're already working on another project.
Yep.
So it's like
And move
yeah,
on to the next one.
I can understand. Speaking on to the next one, Future World,
Oh,
which
that
I
was amazing.
almost watched last night, but I apologize
It's okay.
because you can actually, for the folks who have Amazon, you can actually stream that.
Yeah, it just came out. It was in theaters for a couple of weeks, and it just came out to Blu-ray in July.
That's James
I just
Franco
bought it, yeah.
wrote, directed, right?
Yeah,
And
it's
also
based on a
he's star in
novel
it.
of his. And Yeah, Method Man's in it. Lucy Liu.
James Franco wrote a novel?
Yeah, he wrote.
Okay.
He writes a few. He's a big writer. He writes a lot of
Cool.
novels. He writes a lot of stuff. That's based on a book he
See, I got to
wrote.
reevaluate my.
No, he's a painter, director, teacher.
Okay.
He's an amazing man. But Future World was a project I didn't even have to audition. They gave me, that was like my third or fourth Franco project, and they gave me a role, little small role, but I got to work with Method Man, Snoop Dogg,
Snoop Dogg.
Lucy Liu,
I
yeah,
would love to meet
Mila
Snoop Dogg.
Jovovich. Oh, he's amazing, man.
Mila, I just
I see-
finished watching her whole Resident Evil.
Yeah, she's great. She's so awesome.
I mean, I loved
Jeff-
her from Fifth Element.
Yeah, oh, that's
That's
one of my
Lilo.
all-time favorite movies.
Isn't
ever.
that a great
Love
movie?
it. I watch it
Right?
all the time.
It never. It's just it's timeless. It's like it's almost, and this sounds like an overstatement, but fuck it. It's almost like Casablanca. It's just
Right.
it's this singular thing. Like if you love film, like you have to have an awareness at least
Right.
of that. It just
Yeah,
it's so
amazing film.
there's so much going on in there, and the
Yeah.
design, the costumes, the thought, and just the vision.
Still
it's
so relevant today too. Like some of those movies that come
Yeah.
out back, like that was in 90. I think Fifth Element was like 95 or 6 maybe.
Yeah.
And so a lot of movies that have come out back then, you watch them now, it's just like, all right. But this one, you can still watch it. You can watch Fifth Element now. You can
Right.
watch it 20 years from now.
Because
It's
look, you
great.
get this strong female who saves the whole.
She's amazing. I love
she's-
her.
She's a
I
Fifth
just
Element.
saw her at the park the other day when I had my kids at Plummer
yeah?
Park, and she was there. And she had so many people bothering her. I was gonna be like, "Hey, what up?" You know, but I didn't. I
Can
let
only
her
imagine.
because I know how it gets.
That's the downside of this business. It's like when you're working hard because you want to get known.
right.
Like Bill Burr has a good thing about he's like in the sweet spot of like he's known enough to be successful and do the things he wants, but he's not getting mobbed.
Right.
Like I imagine a James Franco.
Right. Oh yeah, he gets mobbed. I've been there.
Yeah.
Seen it.
It's just because it's like you can't just go, yeah, I'm just gonna go down the block and
Right.
get a beverage, grab some smokes or whatever.
Grab a healthy salad. Like I
yeah.
had for lunch today
Yeah.
against my will, but
Kind of worked.
Nice.
Kind of digging it. Yeah, I can't claim that any feta, were not harmed during
Right.
that salad eating, but it's kind of weird eating a bounty hunter. That's what feta are, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, you know what? As we got to wrap this up here. We got to end on, and there's a lot of NDAs involved with this. I understand, but I will share what is available publicly on the internets.
Right.
And if you want to throw in some things, great. If you can't, totally understand.
Sure.
But according to the Internet Movie Database,
Yeah.
you are in a film that is currently in production, or possibly post-production now,
Post-production.
called The Mule,
Yes. Can't wait. for that.
directed by
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood.
The legend, the man. Such an amazing man. Such an amazing man. Yeah, he's also starring in it. Bradley Cooper's in it. It's I think this was my first big role.
You got Lawrence Fishburne,
Yeah. Bradley,
Michael Pena.
Yeah. Bradley Cooper.
Am I pronouncing his name right?
Pena.
Pena.
Yeah.
That's why I see a keyboard.
Right.
It's a white man keyboard. It is, seriously. Because
yeah.
there's like, where's the end with the
Yeah. Right.
with what do you call it? I actually took some Spanish, believe it or not,
Yeah.
back in the day. But it's a
The little
what is that?
wavy line up top. The
the
what do they
tilde.
call
Is
it?
that what it's called?
I forget what it's called.
Yeah, I know. Espanol.
Diane
Has
White
it.
Weiss. Diane Weiss is in it.
she's in
Yeah.
it. And Bradley
she's-
Cooper,
I
you
love her. Yeah. Bradley Cooper. Andy Garcia's in it.
Oh, I didn't even see Andy Garcia.
Yeah. Clifton
Holy
Collins
crap.
Jr.
Wow.
Robert Lasardo. Me and Robert Lasardo,
Wow.
we have all of our scenes together with Mr. Eastwood.
So you
Mhm.
can share that. Okay.
Yeah, he's great, man.
That's
He's
awesome. So you're in scenes with
with-
dialogue
yes, with Mr. East, with the legend.
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. Even
Does that feel like it could be a game changer for you?
it has been already. It is. It has been, and it will be. I was
Wow,
so
man.
inspired.
Congratulations. I'm so happy
Thank
for
you.
you, man. That's
Thank you.
awesome.
So inspired by Mr. Eastwood, his whole crew, everybody.
He's a legend.
He is, man, and he's such a great guy. We were out there shooting, 10, 12-hour days. Not once did he go in his trailer. He stayed out there in the heat with us in New Mexico. I was filming all my parts in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Okay.
And he wouldn't even let anybody get his water and stuff. He gets all his own stuff. He ate lunch with us, sat at our table. Such an amazing,
Well,
hardworking.
he's been an actor. He
humble-
knows.
right.
He knows what it.
Doesn't say
Yeah.
action, doesn't say cut. He's crazy how he directs.
Now I know that you really were on because I I never met the man,
Yeah.
but I have been on 2 feature film productions, working just as background. Let's see, what was it? J. Edgar
Okay.
with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I have an interesting Leo story.
Nice.
It was very dramatic.
Yeah, nice.
The kind where someday when I encounter him again, I can share a detail or two, and his eyes will get as big as that
Nice.
day, and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I remember that."
So
We'll talk about that another time. And then I remember him wearing his the shoes that he was wearing.
yeah, just some Nikes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Blue Nikes and Jersey Boys. But yeah, he would never. He did a lot of hand signals.
Yeah. he'll
And
point
he never
sometimes.
said action because he feels like that destroys
up.
the process.
I
for
think
the
it was when
actors.
he was on an old Western back in the days working. The horses would go
Yeah.
crazy. When the director would say, I forget who was directing, would say action, the horses would go nuts.
Well,
And
sure,
so-
especially if you're like shouting it.
Right. So he kind
Yeah.
of was like, took the, my actors are kind of like horses. We don't want to rile them up. We just
Right.
kind of just ease into it. And you don't shoot a bunch of shots either. It's like 1 or 2 takes.
That
And
was the
it-
other thing I was gonna say. I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, that's like, yeah.
And he
Like
totally
a
is
second
off.
take is rare.
And he totally is like so you have to really know how to understand the scene. Like I
Because
have
he runs a
great
tight
action
ship.
coach.
He
Yeah.
knows exactly what he wants to do. He's filled it with the best people that he can find, and he's Clint Eastwood. So it's
Right.
the best of the best of the best.
And I have one of my acting coaches, Matthew Snyder, who is amazing, who has the new acting studio. On Instagram, it's the new acting studio. Go to the newactingstudio.com. We did a lot of
Okay.
work before, and I did a lot of research on Mr. Eastwood, and he kind of prepared me because he doesn't go off the script. He's not gonna say what's on the script. He does a lot of improv. So if you're
Oh, he does go off
yeah,
script. Okay.
yeah,
okay.
and so if you're not prepared for that, you have to learn how to play. And thank God that I worked so
You
hard.
have to
And,
listen.
yeah, you have to listen,
Yeah.
and it was an amazing experience to work with him, and it changed my life, and
That's
forever will I be
phenomenal.
grateful. And then for some of the stuff he told me, even my last day on set, he really came up to me. I mean, we talked about a lot of stuff. He remembered me from my audition because he makes the final decision. You're handpicked by Mr. Eastwood
Oh,
when you do one of his
wow.
films, and
That doesn't surprise me.
my last day on set, he came up to me and was like, "You have more than exceeded my expectations, and it was great to have you, and you're great." And I got a lot of positive feedback, and not once did I let it go to my head. It just inspired me to want to just work so much harder. And I came straight back and went right back to class, and then booked the David Ayer film, and then yeah, we just been rocking and rolling on and ever since.
That's awesome. I think that's a great place to end.
Yeah,
I don't think we could end on a higher note.
right.
And it's not just because, Sergeant Peppers is practicing next door at the moment.
Yeah,
But I feel like we just got started,
yeah.
and I feel like we could go on for hours. We definitely got to bring you back.
Let's do it, man.
And Lee, man, it was great
Man,
great
I'm-
chatting with you, man.
Man, I'm glad to be here. You're an amazing guy, man. So I'm glad to be a part of this. And
Oh, you're
thank
too
you,
kind.
thank you for having me. You know what I
Too
mean?
kind.
Appreciate
Well, tell everyone you know to listen to the podcast.
I got you.
We
We're gonna
want
share
more
it.
than 19 listeners a week.
that. I got you, man. Yeah, I would definitely
I'm joking
blast this out.
slightly. All right, brother. Good to see you.
Thank you, man. We'll see you soon.
Lee Coc, everyone. That's a solid dude. Also a nice guy. Really nice guy. I love that guy. Hey, don't forget to follow him, Lee Coc, on the SoundCloud, and also on a lot of other music platforms, iTunes, Apple Music, all that sort of stuff. We'll have links in the show notes, of course, but you can definitely go to leecoc.com for not only his groovy tunes, but also his social media. Looks like he's going to get onto the Twitter. He's already there, but he's going to make it public, as he should. All that groovy stuff. And look for him in theaters soon. There's a lot of cool films coming out he's in, especially The Mule, written, directed, and starring Clint Eastwood. Check that out. Look for the show notes at markromanempire.com, where we capture, for your convenience, any links or other groovy stuff mentioned. I am catching up on those guys. Remember, it's just me and a sound engineer on the day, kids, okay? Please share the podcast with only everyone you know. You can listen now on Mixcloud, Podbean, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and YouTube. Follow, like, share. More platforms on the way. Don't forget to claim your $5 when you try the Cash App and use my code WKXRVBX. Save 10% with discount code ROMAN at elladondesigns.com. Book Lieutenant Frank or other characters at vegas90210.com and buy the merch, the poem, citation, and Lieutenant Frank headshot at markromanempire.com. That's how you can support the podcast. Still on the Twitter. I haven't left. I am the Mark Roman, at the Mark Roman. Still not verified, just followed by dozens who are. Instagram at Vegas90210. We got a fan mail email. No guarantee I'll answer it on the podcast or otherwise, but if you believe your query has what it takes, send it to romanpodmail@gmail.com. Oh boy. Do you think I'm ever going to get in a relationship? Fuck. Who needs it? Am I right? I don't need it. Fuck. Until next week's kids, I remain Mark Roman.